This right here is my $1,200 Ford Bronco killer. No, it's not. No, this right here is my $1,200 Ford Bronco killer. And in today's video, I'm gonna walk around this entire 6-liter V8 Cadillac Escalade convertible and show you all the reasons why for $1,200, I built myself something better than a Jeep Wrangler and a Ford Bronco. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Check this car out. To the engine, the power, the specs, everything that I've found out about owning this car, creating this car, learned about making this thing happen. I'll get into all of that. But first I'm gonna do a walk around and show you this entire vehicle, as well as the backstory. Now this is a 2002 Cadillac Escalade with a 6-liter V8 automatic transmission and all-wheel drive system. It shares the same platform as the GMC Yukon and the Chevy Tahoe. The only difference between the Suburban and the Yukon Denali XL and the Cadillac ESV is the length, 18 inches on the rear. So this is the shorter bodied luxury Tahoe. Now this car back in 2002 had an MSRP of $60,000. This is the top of the line. This is the best car you could buy. Back when these came out, these were the cars that rappers were rapping about.
Cadillac Escalade with the chromed out nose.
Now none of that has anything to do with why I tore the roof off this beautiful vehicle right here. Now we all know you can take the roof off of Jeep Wranglers. They've always been that way. They've always been a fun vehicle. But I was watching a show on Amazon that I really enjoy watching, and the guy drove a mint green International Scout. Anybody know the show? Well, they live in California and they don't need a roof at all. But I really loved his truck. Now, if you remember the movie with Chandler Bing and Selma Hayek, what's the name of that movie? She drove an International Scout. I love them. The problem is, International Scouts, they drive like hell. They're not good, like comfortable vehicles, and they're old, and they're insanely expensive and really difficult to find in New England. Coincidentally, here we are a day after I made this video, and there's a 75 International Scout at the auction. Now on top of the International Scout, you can look at the GMC Jimmys and the K5 Blazers that the roof was completely removable. I saw one at the auction last week that I absolutely loved. This was it right here. This is what I have in mind, but like a really cheap version of this beautiful vehicle. Look at these wheels and tires and frame and suspension. This 72 Jimmy is unbelievable. This is what I wanted. Wow, it is so clean. Now this one does not come with a roof, so it's just like my Escalade. It will get soaked if it rains. Now this is a show car. It is a one-off perfect restoration. The thing is, this car is $70,000. I don't have $70,000 to spend on a toy that's gonna sit out in the elements, so I wanted to make one on the real cheap, even though this would be incredible to have. That car was $70,000. I'm not spending $70,000 for an old GMC Jimmy from 1972. I'm also not spending $60,000 on a Jeep Wrangler or a Ford Bronco. It drives me crazy. I don't need to spend that type of money. So it got me thinking, Craig, how can you have an International Scout that doesn't drive like an International Scout, that kind of has the abilities of a newer vehicle like a Jeep Wrangler or like a Ford Bronco? How can you make this happen? Well, I came up with this idea. I want to bid on this Escalade for a project. Is that a sale or an F? A sale or an F? Well, I bought another project today. I was at the auction and I stumbled across this 02 Escalade.
A few minutes later.
All right, here we go. I heard the injector's prime. Let's go here. Come on. Frig! Come on, dude. Here we go. Thank you very much. I had no idea if it would work. I had no idea if it was gonna run. I had no idea if it was going to be possible at all. So if you've seen my video from before, part 1 and part 2, I tried to make it possible, and it is. And today's walk around video, I'm gonna show you everything we did to this vehicle to make it the way it is, that I've used literally every single day for the past month. Luckily, we're in a drought in the middle of the summer. This car has been amazing for me and my family. Now, I knew I wanted something on the Tahoe platform, especially if I could find the 6-liter, because this thing has 345 horsepower and can tow 8,000 plus pounds, which is incredible. Now here's the kicker. I paid $1,200 for it. Now from the factory, this 6-liter LQ9 comes with a cast iron block from the Chevy 2500 work trucks, and then all aluminum heads out of an LS style V8, the same that's in the Trans Ams, the Corvettes, and the Camaros, which is incredible, but it's a beefed up engine for the truck platform. Now you can't even get this engine in a Tahoe, a Suburban, or a Yukon. You'll see here, engineered exclusively for Cadillac Motor Division, which is really cool. Now 345 horsepower and 8,000 2,000 pounds towing capacity is unreal. I can tow my boat, I can tow my camper, I can tow my trailer, and I can have a lot of fun in the summer. Now let's compare that to brand new 2022 Jeep Wranglers and Ford Broncos. A 2022 Ford Bronco has two engine options, 2.3 liter 4-cylinder and a 2.7 liter V6. Now, would I trust a 2.7 liter V6 Ford or a 4-cylinder Ford engine with 188,000 miles? Absolutely no, I wouldn't. But would I trust a Chevy Suburban, a Cadillac Escalade, a GMC Yukon, or a Chevy Tahoe with that type of miles? I absolutely would. So think of the longevity. The Bronco has a 2.7 liter V6 that we already know has issues. Forget if they bump into the 3.5 liter bi-turbo with head gasket and timing chain problems. This car has stood the test of time. The Bronco has not yet. Now let's talk about the brand new 2022 Jeep Wrangler. The Jeep Wrangler has three engine options, a 2-liter 4-cylinder, a 3-liter diesel, and a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 with 285 horsepower. So their best performing engine is also the same engine that they put in a Chrysler Town & Country minivan. Now, if you want the Hemi, forget about it. You're paying almost $100,000 for it. Now back to this vehicle, I paid $1,200 for it at a dealer-only auction last week, but it came with some hiccups because it's an aged car. All right, without further ado, you've seen the video of us cutting the roof off. You've seen the video of us finishing this thing. Let's show you the final result. Now, this Cadillac Escalade came with standard 17-inch wheels and really, really good tires, but I had these in stock in my shop with brand new tires. So I have a brand new set of 22-inch rims that were fit for a Cadillac Escalade with brand new tires. Now, going down the entire vehicle, you'll see that it has a textured coating. I put a truck bed coating on the entire thing. If you've watched part 2, you already saw us do this. Why did I do that? Well, if this had nice paint, I would have kept the nice paint, but somebody had put like a really terrible plasti dip paint job on the car and I couldn't peel it off. I tried my hardest to get all of it off and I couldn't make it happen. And the parts that I did take off, I found some damage to the paint underneath. So instead of doing any of that, we went with the truck bed coating because it covers everything. It masks everything and it kind of puts a band-aid over stuff that we needed to cover, like this right here. This was our hardest area to figure out what to do with. You'll see that I kept the original panels on both sides here and over there and even on the back tailgate. But our lines were not cut straight. This was our first time attempting to do this. We had no idea what we were doing, and our Sawzall blades looked like Helen Keller cut them. So the lines are way off. So we used an ice and water shield on the outside, which is like a rubber, like extreme elements tape. So did we duct tape it? I guess we kind of duct taped the vehicle, but it's not, it's ice and water shield. And then we sprayed the texture coating over it so you can see the texture coating line here, which kind of makes it all uniform and consistent. So I thought this was gonna be a brilliant idea. These are bed rail covers off of a pickup truck and they fit perfectly. I even got it mounted right here. But the problem is, like that would have been easy to trim. There's nothing to stick to because this is all hollow. So my idea of just having these sit on top is not gonna work. I'm really bummed about that. So I'm gonna have to keep this for now until I come up with something better. Now we did tape off the taillights. I polished the taillights and I polished the headlights and I kept some chrome and gloss black accents. So now I don't really know what to do. Do I remove the glass altogether or do I just keep it? I mean, driving on the highway at night, it actually is kind of nice to have both windows, especially when I have my kids, because I have 3 kids. So it's nice to keep them in the back with the windows up, which sounds silly, but it really does actually help. Now going to the back, I love the seat belts. These are something I did not even consider. The third row has seat belts attached to the third row as well as the front seats. So the seat belts, had they been on the pillar, I would have cut them off accidentally. It worked out really, really well that the seat belts were in the seats as well as the rear. Now I'm not super happy about this neoprene cover. I couldn't find one to get to fit perfectly. I think I'm gonna remove this. Pardon my underwear from the gym. Now these seat covers have to go. I thought they would be a good addition, but these seats are too classically styled and comfortable to put this on here. But you'll see I had to put some aftermarket seat belts because I accidentally threw them out without thinking about it. So we had to get some new aftermarket seat belts for the sides, and the middle we still have. Now, when speaking about seat belts, I actually want to talk about this because I'm pretty proud of this right here. This is a neoprene seat cover that didn't fit this vehicle. And if you know Cadillac Escalades, these are the best armrests known to man, and I wanted to keep those. So I cut a hole in the armrest here to fit these in, and then I just sliced a stitch open here so I could have the outer bolster to use the seatbelt here. Now here's what's really cool. Even though it is incredibly rusty, this is a solid truck frame. This is a body on frame like a Silverado is. So even though I cut the roof off, it still has a solid frame that is extremely structurally rigid, minus the flaking rust. Now we have a tow package, which is amazing, towing up to 8,000 pounds, which is incredible. The tailgate is not movable yet. So eventually I'm hoping to put some truck hinges. Maybe a Silverado gate would fit. I'm really not sure, but that is something for the future. Now going to the inside, like I said, this is a Tahoe, it's a Suburban, it's a Yukon, it's an Escalade. Well, I had all-season WeatherTech floor mats that fit perfectly in here. I removed the carpets from the whole thing, and then I put the truck bed coating on the floors. I drilled some holes. I showed you all of that in part 2. But these WeatherTech floor mats filled everything out and fit perfectly, so you never know what was underneath, because these look like they're supposed to be there. Now you might be asking me, Craig, you have an Escalade. Do the options still work? It has heated seats that work. The memory seats still work. The power folding mirrors still work. Unfortunately, the rear window wiper no longer works. Now it's getting dark, and I was hoping to have this video finished before the end of the evening, and it's getting late now. There's just a couple more things that I want to show you that I really liked about this vehicle. Now, when looking at a 2022 Jeep Wrangler or a 2022 Bronco, what are the options you want? You want Bluetooth, you want backup camera, you want touchscreen navigation device, you want heated seats, you want the options, the luxuries, right? I got you. This car's 20 years old and has those. Now, I already showed you the heated seats, the power windows, the power mirrors, the folding mirrors that all work. Well, we also have CD player, driver presets that still work, cold air conditioning, and backup camera with navigation right here. And they're still connected to the Bose stereo. Now it is Bluetooth, and in case that's not enough, it does have a USB charging cord as well. Now going to the center console, I have 2 options. One here for storage here with the net to put my phone in, or storage here as well. I also have 2 outlets back here and heated seats for the rear passengers. I also had to use my ice and water shield up here, and I still have the center console for the light, dome lights and map lights that I will figure out how to connect another time. But this has finished it off decently to at least make it presentable. Now you'll see the Flying Wheels logo. That has brought an insane amount of attention up at the lake, which is what I use this for. This is my lake vehicle. It's not my primary car, even though I use it every single day. This has towed my boat, it has towed my trailer, it has towed my motorcycle, it has towed my camper even, and taken my family on some really fun adventures. Now I needed this for truck purposes, which is great because these third row seats are easily removable, and these seats fold completely flat with just a pull of a handle. It's incredible. Here we go. It's just way better without that seat cover. Now I have the center console, and even these seats fold completely forward and down. So I can remove those, and I have a full, like, 6-foot truck bed if I need it, which is really cool. I even have storage back here because I needed it. Now, 6-liter LQ9 Vortec V8 is amazing, but it also has headers and an aftermarket muffler, which is really cool. Try to sound like this Jeep Wrangler or Ford Bronco. And then last but not least is the Escalade gauges, which I just like. I generally like that. The wood grain, like super comfortable ergonomic steering wheel, and then the armrest. I forgot to tell you about the armrest. So these seat covers aren't fit for armrests. What is this then, Craig? Aha, this is the headrest. I really like that Cadillac emblem in the headrest. So I took the headrest that came with these neoprene seats, and you'll see I sewed them right here so they fit on, because I wanted to cover that right there. Now I made this car to tow my family around and tow my boat up at the lake, and it has done exactly that for several weeks now. I've only been caught in the rain twice. Craig, what did you do when you got caught in the rain? Well, I had a car cover with me just in case. And the other thing I have is a carport. I mean, a gazebo. My wife likes to call it a gazebo, but I use it as a carport when I need to. So check this out, completely unintentional. My wife came up with this idea. We built this pavilion, and it's raining, and I have no roof for this Escalade. So we moved the picnic table out of the way. I have like a carport now. Unbelievable, never even thought of that. And then also, like I had said, we're starting to grow some grass too, so that's awesome. It's worked out really well for me, and this car has been incredible. So all in, how much do I have invested into this vehicle? Well, I paid $1,200 for the car at the auction. I have about $2,200 into the wheels. Now, whether I sell the truck or keep the truck, I can put the original wheels back on. It doesn't really matter. I don't count that towards my investment in the end. But as of right now, we'll use it. So let's say $2,200 into the wheels, $1,200 into the car. I am now at $3,400. I have $40 into saw blades, and then another $40 into some zip tape, ice and water shield. So I have a grand total of about $3,500 into this vehicle that is reliable, and I have had an absolute blast with. I can't buy a toy, like I can't buy a four-wheeler or a dirt bike for that much money. And this one tows my family around, and I have a blast. Now, there are a couple concerns. I mean, safety concerns. There is no roll bar which I'm still trying to figure out. So there are a few things I would love for you guys to add into here. What should I do in this section here? And what are you thinking for roll bar? How do I make a roll bar and make this thing safe to be driving around? I mean, if we get into an accident, we're in some trouble. I mean, you can get into an accident in a motorcycle and you're in trouble. You can get into an accident in a convertible and you're in trouble. But I mean, I think I would really like to add a roll bar, like maybe those truck roll bars that go up and then down slanted like this. Now with the theme, I couldn't help myself. I bought another 02 Cadillac Escalade with these wheels. I paid $1,700 for this one. Now I can swap like any good parts that I need from this one over to that one. I really don't know. I'd love to hear your ideas. Shout them out in the comments section. Let me know if you think it was worth it. If it was a bust, to me it wasn't. I mean, for the money that I have into this thing, I couldn't buy that much fun with anything else. I would love to hear your comments. A thumbs up is always appreciated. It's dark, it's late. I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'll see y'all later. Adios.